So here we are, now we're in November 2021, working on the Fargo, and we got some Tesla modules sitting here.
Yeah. Yeah, just so this is like you bought these used because you can't really buy Tesla modules new.
Yeah, they're supposed to have like about 50,000 miles on them.
Yeah. So yeah, a couple of things that we want to do before you decide to use these things is make sure you got some voltage on them because they're usually stored around about 50% capacity there instead of being fully charged. So these packs are out of a Model S. Similar to this
like
one.
mine, yeah.
Alright,
Same
so
pack.
they're out of a Model S. They sit about 22.5 volts nominal. Maximum was about 25.2 volts maximum in these things. So whenever we're sizing these batteries there to work with your system in your boat there, we want to use the maximum charge on them there for the size of the battery pack. So these guys should be charged about 50% when you bought them. A couple of things we want to do is just make sure they're sitting around that 15-16 volts just now while they're being stored. And then we also want to pressure test them. These guys are liquid cooled, so there's a conduit of piping running through these, because inside this pack there's 444 18650 cells. They look like little AA batteries. You can just catch a view of a couple of them in the side there. And the pack itself is divided into 6 modules of about 74 cells that run in parallel. So what we need to be able to do is monitor each pack of 6 cells as if they were individual batteries with a BMS, so we know voltage, and then there's thermistors integrated in here as well, so we can monitor temperature as well. And because of the way this pack's designed, Tesla originally had these things liquid cooled. So you're going to run liquid cooling in this thing, aren't you?
Yeah, in the Jetboat, absolutely.
One of the other things you got to make sure is that water and electricity don't mix. So if you're going to be running a liquid cooling system there, you want to make sure that the plumbing in here is actually airtight, so that you don't end up spraying water or liquid cooling all over your battery pack here.
So that's a vacuum.
This is a vacuum pump, just a little hand vacuum pump there. We'll throw over one end of the nipples here. So these two guys here are the liquid cooling nipples. So I'm just going to plug off one side there and make sure it holds pressure. Let's pump it up here to about 10 inches of vacuum. And you can see right there it holds. So that was good. And we've already tested the other one there, so we know both of these packs are good.
That's good to know.
Right, yeah, so they'll hold pressure, so they'll be watertight. So yeah, this is the Tesla proprietary chip. It's awfully complicated. You can't just plug in here and run an aftermarket battery management system with it. So there's lots of manufacturers out there that will actually make chips that you can remove the Tesla chip out and then integrate an aftermarket chip. This one's specifically from Stealth EV. Zero EV in the UK make them. There's a couple other manufacturers that make them, but what this does is you can see it's a much more simpler chip. You see that? So it simplifies the system so that we can directly tap into the thermistors, which will monitor temperature, and there'll be 2 thermistors per pack. So right here you've got T1 positive and negative, T2 positive and negative. So there's 2 thermistors at the top, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pinouts that we can run to our battery management system, because remember I said that these cells are divided into packs of 6 with 74 cells per group of 6, so a total of 444 individual cells inside here. So what this does is it allows us to break out a wire to our Orion BMS system there, so we can continue to monitor this battery pack. So the struggle now is to try and open these packs up, because I mean they've got these plastic covers on them, they've got a tape that holds them down, they've got very touchy little pins that hold these things in there, they're easy to break, and then there's lots of little ribbon wires. You've got to be really careful that you don't break those ribbon wiring as well. So
we'll move one out of the way, I guess, and
let's take this. So this one's the one we're going to do. This one's already been done, so you can see the Tesla chip here, and you can see the Stealth EV chip on this one. So this one's been done already.
So let's move it out of the way.
We're going to see if I can do it without breaking it. Okay. All right. Let's throw this in your car. There's 2. Yeah, who would have thought, that a $1,800 battery would be taped together?
Yeah, I find that surprising. I think it would clip together.
Although the tape is challenging me.
Well, what can you say, Brian?
Oh Jesus!
What can you say?
There we go. It helps if you have nails. Alright, there we go. So we got the top open. Alright. Set that there. Alright, so we got 4 little pins here, and then we've got 2 connectors. There we go. And I'm just going to leave that like that just now. One,
That's perfect.
2, 3.
And just let's see that pliers when you're done.
Right there.
It's,
They're just little snippers.
they work great.
Whoa, there we go. And then oh, they don't want to let go. There we go. 1, 2, 3. that one volunteered itself. Let's take that one out. And this one was the only one giving us trouble. 4. There we go, there's our pins. Alright, then this guy. So there we go, that chips out. And then we're going to reinstall this guy. Alright. One.
That was the other interesting too, is this is a V1 board.
Yes.
There's actually 2 versions of these battery packs, V1 and V2.
V2, yep. Alright. And then we need to throw these guys in.
And the V2 actually has a 3rd connector.
The V2 also has those ribbons which are relatively, what's the word? Thanks. They're quite delicate, are they not?
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a couple extra holes on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, people need to know. See that? How there's,
Yeah, there's
an extra hole on top.
Yeah.
Use the lower hole.
There we go. 2. Wish it wasn't so cold out here, my fingers are numb. 3. And 4. And then put the lock pins in. One. 2. 3. And last one, and then we can put her back together. Alright, so that's
Pretty amazing
on.
system.
Flip this guy back over. Alright, lid. And then the whole thing flops forward, and then we've got to redo the tape at the other side. And then we put these guys back on. 1, 2, and we have a Stealth EV chip with the pinouts and the actual plug on the top, and we're good to go.